My life growing up, I lived like in a Christian household mostly, but also not because my mum was Christian and she brought up my brother and I with reading the Word every night. We had this kids' Bible we would read and just like set us up with good foundations and good values to set us up for life. Good Christian childhood, you could say, and then also not because my dad was very against the church and hated the church, so we were going to a different church at the time and we really enjoyed that, but eventually because of the fighting and the conflict between my parents about church, we stopped going for a couple years. I was invited to this church and this youth ministry through one of my primary school friends. It was weird because I was in high school at the time. I was in about year 8 and I hadn't talked to this friend from primary school in ages, so it just shows that it's not by chance and God actually wanted me there, which was really cool. So I came along to my first night at youth in year 8 and I loved it so much, and I hadn't been to church in so long, so it was really refreshing, and it was just to be in God's house again was really cool, and like I could just feel his love. And I remember in worship, that first night, God speaking to me saying like, you belong here, and you belong in my house again. Throughout high school, I walked away, like became really distant from God and distant from church, like just in like year 10, year 11. Just the crowd of people at school really impacted me in my walk with God, and I became just caught up in a world of drugs and alcohol, which just pulled me away from church and people that loved me and wanted to support me. And even though I remember they would still message me, I remember my leaders would still reach out and talk to me. And my youth pastors as well, awesome, Pastor Joel and Alex, they would always be messaging me even though I was away from church. And I remember just being in like so much loneliness and realizing like life away from God is so different. And so being distant from God was something I'd never really experienced before, being caught up in a whole different world. And so when I decided to come back and to stop being affected by all that kind of stuff, that I realized that God is everything, and life without God is nowhere near as good as life with God. And even though I believe God has always been in my corner and keeping me safe and protecting me, that life with God is so much better, and his forgiveness is so great, and he is such a good God, and he is just the fullness of him is so much better than anything we could ever imagine. My favorite thing that I've learnt about God is just being with God is so much better than being without God, and just his forgiveness is so great and his love is so great. Like there's so many things, like his faithfulness throughout my journey and my season of just still being in my corner. I remember I still like would pray to God and be like, I'm in such a scary situation right now, like please make it all be okay, and then I'll come back to you, God, and I'll come back to church and a family that loves me. And God was always faithful in that, even though I wasn't. But he's just so good, like so much better than I would have ever thought. And I just learnt that he's such a big God, like we can't limit him to how great he is. I'm excited for the future, with my relationship with God, just to go deeper and to understand more about him and to keep learning. I'm really thankful that I have the opportunity to be a youth leader in our youth ministry, and I get to love just youth girls and just showing God's love to people who don't know it and who are also so far from him. Getting to draw them close to God has been awesome, and I'm just excited to continue to do that and to get better at it and to see growth in our youth ministry and growth in me and as me as a leader, and to see what my capacity is, which is really cool. But I'm very excited.